Nick, well, anybody with siblings knows that from time to time, you get into fights. Constant fighting, put downs, and arguing among siblings are cause of major stress and frustration in a lot of families. And licensed social worker and president and CEO of Daniel Memorial, Jim Clark, is back with us this morning to talk a little bit about what's causing these fights and, more importantly, how to solve them. Hi.
Hey, it's life in general. It's proximity and jealousy and competition. Since the beginning of time, you can look at Cain and Abel. You can look at Cinderella and the stepsisters. The sibling rivalry has always been there, and it's something that is just a natural part of life that we as parents need to be sensitive to. And as long as there's not a significant amount of violence or a language, you tend to be okay with that sort of thing. But it's always there, and kids are competing for their attention of their parents or a parent.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like the rivalry really starts in the home?
Sure, it does, and parents also set an example. I know sometimes parents feel like they are in a ring and they're the referee. And indeed, there are things that they can do to make the situation better or worse, and that's really the things that we try to teach our parents in the parent education courses that we do. I had brothers and siblings, and I was always competing for my parents' attention. So competition is a big thing for parents to be aware of. Always be careful about comparing one child to the other. I think it's a great time in which to really teach kids about the social appropriateness of language. Booger was one that would just drive my son crazy when his sister said that you're a booger breath. But it's a great time to talk about name calling and how's that feel. Yeah. The big thing you want to really do is you're trying to teach kids to use words that are appropriate and not their fists. And that's what you're constantly trying to do. It's a great training period to do with them.
Do you find that when parents spend individual time with each of their kids that is a help?
That's a great help. And in fact, that's one of the things that we often tell parents to do. Regardless of how many children that you have, they are all individuals. And what you want to do is be able to be proactive and give them some of that individual attention. Again, it's also a great opportunity to acknowledge their feelings. Parents say, well, when should I get involved? Well, again, if there's not violence and you can step back and there's language is appropriate, it's better to kind of let them settle it themselves. But if not, you need to solve the problem with them and not for them. And there's ways to do that. Have a conversation. Make sure that you acknowledge their feelings. Particularly, it's for the younger child. Sometimes it's good to say, well, Timmy, you feel this way, so you're actually articulating the words for him. And then, Bob, you are feeling this way, so that you can make sure that things are on an even keel. And it's also an opportunity for the parents to slip in some of their points that they want to make at the same time.
So you're not so much the referee anymore, you kind of become the counselor.
That's right. You become the counselor, and that's really what it is in those kind of situations. Right. People often say, well, when is it really a serious problem? And I tell people, when it gets to the point of marital strife, when you're having marital disagreements over the discipline of your children, or if you really feel that there's some physical harm or psychological damage that you're seeing in your child, that's maybe time to intervene. And I think I also tell parents, when you have a child with a handicap, be it a physical handicap or a mental handicap, it's also a great time in which to take that other child, because sometimes the other child's getting a lot more attention. So you've got to be careful of that.
Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about this, and I'm sure parents found the information incredibly valuable. And if you'd like more information on this topic, other family-related issues, you can go to news4jax.com, click on the Scene on 4 tab, and look under weekend headlines. Still to come on the morning show, holidays are fast approaching. Hey, that means it's time to get into shape. Coming up later, Sarge is back with some fall fitness tips. Plus, it is something doctors only used to see really in hospitals, but now MRSA is spreading to healthy kids at schools. What you can do to protect you and your family. And 2 people are dead after a pair of small planes collide. What the planes were doing before the accident. That's coming up after the break.
Helping Hand.